It's slime time. Hello and welcome. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. It's the 10th day of February 2023. It's about 70 degrees and sunny but windy here at Site B, and it's me, the OGGM. And today we're going to take a look at Minions on a Mission, issue number 1 by me. My very first contribution to the wonderful Big Geek Emporium, which I then completely rewrote to be in compliance with the new OGL OSR system neutral documentation. This book is 9 pages. It's completely dedicated to slime and all its various forms and functions. So let's take a look at it. This idea comes to me from Grim Jim and Ben from Questing Beasts, who both said maybe if you want to increase the awareness of your product, you should actually show your product. So let's take a look at Minions on a Mission, issue number 1, A New Hope for Minions. So yes, I was making fun of Star Wars titles. A lot of these I have used movie titles and then restructured them to fit the theme of Minions. So this is all about Minions. Every issue of my Minions on a Mission campaign setting zines are all giving you, the DM, a group of specific monster types and various alternate rules for those specific monster types. And the very first one is slime, oozes, jellies, gelatinous cubes. And we have our former mascot, the minion with no name, knee deep in a pool of slime. And the creation of this character comes from from DM Kurt, who suggested that the theme minion mascot be a lich in a cowboy hat, because if you remember, the original title was all based upon spaghetti westerns. So the original very first was called A Fistful of Minions. We have since changed the names. We're making fun of Star Wars, and then we change the names again after we go through all the Star Wars names. So we have our former mascot, the minion with no name, a lich in a cowboy hat, knee deep in slime. We have the introduction here. No minions were harmed in the making of this product. The names have been changed to protect minions. Then we have our introduction explaining why slime. Why do I love slime so much? Why is slime the very first monster I went to? And it's because slime are the perfect monster for any situation, whether it be fantasy, science fiction, horror, superheroes, outer space, slime. You never have to explain slime. They take up no space. They don't need food or water. They don't need money or a place to sleep. They won't ask you for a vacation. And best of all, they'll never argue with you. You don't. Why is that slime in my dungeon? I don't have to explain it. It's a slime. It's just there. And then we have the various slimes that I have presented for the first. And I didn't give them any names. They're just numbered, slime 1 through slime 30 slimes. Let's just take an example of the layout. So I used a very system neutral layout. I numbered them at the beginning, though I stopped numbering them later on. We have the name, slime number 1, difficulty. So I rank them in difficulty from easy, normal, hard, very hard, ridiculously hard, stuff like that. And then I give a suggested health. Everything is in D6s, so 2D6, which means the average slime number 1 will have 6 to 12 hit points. And then we give their attack, which is slam. There really is no word for, how like some of these creatures would attack. So I just use the word slam. I suppose I could also just say melee attack or whatever. But I mean, how does the slime attack? It just sort of slides up to you and slides over you. And, it's not like slime are really hostile or have any actual, combat tactics. They're just heat, movement, whatever. They just slurp over it and hope that they dissolve it. So then we have its special abilities. And this one is that it does cold damage because it absorbs heat. So anyone struck by the slime must make a fortitude save of 10 or higher, or take an additional 2d6 cold damage. Oh, that says 2d8. I have to go and fix that. And have their movement reduced to 10 feet till the next turn. And then we have slime are immune to damage from fire, but take 2 damage from cold because they absorb heat. So cold would actually do them more. We have the appearance, a slow-moving ice blue slime which survives by absorbing heat from its prey. And then a quote. And the quote is always really literally, slightly humorous. So this one says the quote is so cold. And let's just move down to another one. Let's check out slime number 10. So again, just a number, and then it talks about what it is. So slime number 10 is created by slime number 9. So we have to look at slime number 9 first. Slime number 9 is basically a evil cucumber. And this is a homage to the Invasion to the Body Snatchers monster. So slime number 9 is the creature that captures the people, dissolves them, and turns them into the pod people that we are so famous of Invasion of the Body Snatchers. And then slime number 10 are the stats for the pod people created by them. And the pod people created by the Invasion from the Body Snatcher slime 9 are pretty much going to have the exact same stats as they had when they were alive. They're going to move a little slower because they're technically zombies. They're not really going to have any special abilities. They're either going to use whatever weapon they have on hand, or they're just going to slap at you, and their whole job is to bring more food to slime number 9. So there's a homage to Invasion of the Body Snatchers. And then we can go down to slime number 20. And then again, just gives the name, gives how it attacks, and then what, the information of this one's just basically a yellow mold creature that just, some of them have special abilities, some of them don't. Some of them just are, a variation on a theme. Slime at the end of the day, they dissolve something. And then we move on to some of the new rules I've added. And we have one thing I wanted to add is new ways to describe slime. So this is something I thought was fun, is when you're encountering one of these monsters, how do you describe it to the player characters to really impact the otherworldliness of slime? Because if I just say there's a blob of jelly slowly moving towards you, that doesn't really incite fear or disgust. And really, when dealing with slime, it's not only fear, it's just sort of this, there's that disgusting, otherworldly alienness to it. So I looked up some words to use for describing slimes. And these are some of the most disturbing words in the English language. So when describing the slime, instead of saying it looks like slime, you can say it looks like phlegm. It smells like curdled milk. It festers in the corner like a 10-day-old corpse. Something about it just looks so moist. I mean, these are just words that just inspire an instant, visceral, almost sense of disgust. You just want to move away from these. You tell somebody something smells like curdled milk, and it just instantly brings up that memory of that disgust. And then they're just like, I don't want to have anything to do with this. And then we came up with some optional things that slime could do instead of just damage. Now, this dates back a while, but basically, the idea that on natural 20s or whatever, monsters do double damage. But in the case of slime, I was like, well, what if they did something different? So I provided 20 alternatives to just double damage. So like this one, slime number 3, on a natural 20, it stuns you to the next round. Slime, this one, and then you can just use these to replace what the slime normally does. So that way the players are never used to, oh, that slime always does the exact same thing. But if you change it up and roll on this random table or just replace it, it's like, here's a blue slime. It has these stats, but when it attacks, it knocks the opponent prone, or it does extra acid damage, or it puts you to sleep. And then we have how I changed the rules in the example of the changes to be system neutral. I changed everything to a difficulty rating system, but I didn't give any numbers. I wanted you to decide what these numbers actually mean and how tough a creature is. So we have simple, easy, normal, difficult, tough, hard, and very hard, and some examples. Like a normal task would be opening a locked door that you have the key for. That's a normal task. You walk up the door, you fumble for the keys, you try and open it, you open it. That's a normal task. Now, the same one would be a superhuman hard version of that would be trying to pick the exact same lock in the heart of the sun. So, my usual sense of humor, because that is the most ridiculously thing I can think of is like, swimming in hot lava, trying to open a door inside the heart of the sun. But in gaming, impossibilities are only like one dice roll away from being, well, it could happen. And then we have some examples of how I changed saving throws, words I used. And this, as the series progressed, I changed more and more. Then we have the new rules, like describing slime, what they do, what the various effects are that I describe above, like being knocked prone or whatever. And then we have the legal stuff. And then we have a picture of our previous mascot, the minion with no name, and how you can get in touch with me. So if you are interested in picking up the OGGM adventures, and you can head on over to Big Geek Emporium, link down below. And there's the first one, Minions on a Mission, issue number 1. And we can now go look at, the later issues and see how they change and evolve, and my crappy artwork. And then at the beginning of last month, we switched over to a new mascot, King Slime. So the covers and the art now represent King Slime. And all this is done on AI art rather badly. I have a lot of issues with art. Like it took, sometimes it takes me 2 hours of just entering prompts to get the thing that I see in my head, and it's still not close. So if you appreciate all the hard work I do, head on over to Big Geek Emporium, pick up any one of the Minions on a Missions, each one dedicated to a specific monster/minion, and various alternate rules for those specific monsters. We've done slime, we've done undead, we've done goblins, we've done dragons, we've done mechanics. We did a huge one about beasts, like snakes and reptiles and giant insects and lions and tigers. We just released one about boss monsters. So I presented like some of the gods, some of the kings and queens, and some rules for just making general final bad guys like Bandit Lord, Evil King, stuff like that. So if you're looking for some cheap OSR, system neutral stuff to spice up your campaign, if you want to take a look at some of the various machinations of the goblins that run things here at Site B, it's all there, and it's all $2 each. So head on down to Big Geek Emporium, and please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you very much.